Welcome back to another exciting video where we explore the hidden treasures of British coinage. Today's journey takes us into the world of the United Kingdom one-penny coin, a denomination that may seem small in value but carries enormous history, rarity, and collector demand. While many of these coins once passed through everyday hands, some rare examples in different conditions are now selling at astonishing prices in the international auction market, often reaching hundreds and even thousands of dollars. In this video, we'll break down the fascinating story of the one-penny coin, look at its history, identify unique features, discuss its rarity, and uncover its true value in today's collector's market. So let's get started. First up, the United Kingdom one-penny coin from the year 1907. Now, you might be thinking that a coin in very bad condition could hardly be worth much, but when it comes to rare and historic coins, collectors see value beyond just appearance. Even coins that are heavily worn, corroded, or damaged can still fetch surprisingly high prices in auctions, especially when they hold significant historical importance. So, let's dive into the story of the 1907 British penny and see why it remains a prized treasure, even in very poor condition. The year 1907 falls within the reign of King Edward VII, who ruled the United Kingdom from 1901 until his death in 1910. Coins from this era carry a deep historical meaning, representing Britain's position as a global empire at the height of its influence. The Edwardian period was short but remarkable, and coins minted during this time are a window into that world. The one-penny coin was part of everyday life for millions of people, used in markets, shops, and trade across the United Kingdom. Although millions of these coins were minted, the passage of time, circulation wear, and natural deterioration have made surviving examples, especially in identifiable condition, quite rare today. The 1907 one-penny coin was struck in bronze and measured 30.81 millimeters in diameter, weighing 9.45 grams. On the obverse side, it features the portrait of King Edward VII facing right, designed by George William de Saulles. The Latin inscription around the portrait reads, Edward 7 de Gira Abrit Omen Rex Fid Def Ndimp, which translates to Edward VII, by the grace of God, King of all the Britons, Defender of the Faith, Emperor of India. On the reverse, you'll find the iconic seated Britannia, holding a trident and shield, a symbol of Britain's naval power and imperial strength. Even when worn down or damaged, these details often remain faintly visible, reminding collectors of the artistry and symbolism of the Edwardian coinage. While the 1907 penny may not be the scarcest coin of its era, finding one in very bad condition still draws interest among collectors. Why? Because for many numismatists, ownership of a coin from the Edwardian period, especially with a clear date, is a matter of completing a collection. Serious collectors often want to assemble full-date runs of the penny series, and even the most worn or corroded examples can fill important gaps. Over time, many coins from this period were lost, discarded, or melted, which means that any surviving piece, even in poor condition, holds collector demand. And sometimes, poor condition coins are the only affordable way for entry-level collectors to own a piece of British history. Now let's talk about the part that excites collectors the most, the market value. A United Kingdom 1907 one-penny in very bad condition might seem worthless at first glance, but at auctions, such coins can still attract attention. Typically, in heavily circulated or corroded states, these coins may start at just a few dollars, anywhere between $2,500. However, if the coin still has a clearly visible date, and especially if it carries historical appeal, it can sell for higher amounts. In some cases, collectors have paid $5,000 for poor quality examples just to complete their Edward VII sets. Of course, coins in better condition can sell for thousands of dollars. But the point is that even a very bad condition 1907 penny still carries respectable value in today's auction market. If you're looking to collect coins like the 1907 one penny, here are some useful tips. First, always make sure the date is visible, as this is crucial for both authenticity and value. Second, handle even damaged coins carefully. Cleaning them aggressively can reduce their appeal to collectors. Instead, preserve them as they are, since originality often matters more than appearance. Third, when buying, consider both auctions and private sellers, as prices can vary widely depending on the demand. Lastly, remember that coins in poor condition are often an affordable way to start collecting, and they can serve as stepping stones before upgrading to higher-grade examples later on. The 1907 United Kingdom one penny may appear worn out, rusted, or heavily circulated, but don't let its condition fool you. This coin carries the legacy of King Edward VI's reign, the artistry of early 20th century British minting, and the enduring interest of collectors worldwide. Even in very bad condition, it can hold surprising value in the auction market, making it a small but powerful reminder of history. Whether you're a beginner collector or a seasoned numismatist, coins like these remind us that true value often lies not just in looks, but in the stories they carry. Think twice before dismissing it. It might just be worth more than you imagine. Next up, the United Kingdom 1 penny from the year 1935. At first glance, this coin might look like just another piece of early 20th century currency, but in reality, it carries significant historical value, unique features, and a demand that has made it highly desirable among numismatists. We will explore the story behind this rare coin, its special characteristics, and why it is considered such a valuable piece in today's auction market. The 1935 1 penny belongs to the reign of King George V, one of the most influential monarchs in modern British history. His reign spanned from 1910 to 1936, covering both World War I and the interwar period. During this era, British coinage underwent several subtle design and production changes, reflecting not just the artistic styles of the time, but also the economic conditions of the United Kingdom. The penny was an essential part of everyday currency, used widely in shops, markets, and daily transactions. However, the coins minted in the mid-1930s, particularly the 1935 penny, were produced in comparatively lower quantities and have become increasingly scarce over the decades. The 1935 1 penny is made of bronze, a metal alloy traditionally used in British coinage for durability and longevity. On the obverse side, it features the left-facing portrait of King George V, designed by the famed sculptor Bertram Mackennal. His portrait is one of the most iconic in British coinage history and is instantly recognizable. The reverse of the coin showcases the classic seated figure of Britannia, holding her trident and shield, a symbol of Britain's naval strength and imperial power. Measuring around 30 millimeters in diameter and weighing over 9 grams, this coin has a distinct size and weight that makes it stand out in hand. Coins preserved in fine condition maintain clear details of both Britannia and King George V, which adds significantly to their collectible value. While millions of pennies circulated during the early 20th century, the 1935 penny has gained a special place in the numismatic world due to its relative scarcity. Over time, most of these coins were lost, damaged, or melted down, making well-preserved examples far harder to come by. For collectors, rarity is everything, and the 1935 penny strikes the perfect balance between being a historical piece and a challenging find. Enthusiasts of British coinage particularly prize it because it belongs to the final years of George V's reign, adding an element of historical importance. The demand for coins in fine condition is especially high, as collectors are willing to pay a premium for those that have survived the test of time without excessive wear. When it comes to auction market value, the 1935 1 penny in fine condition commands a respectable price. While lower-grade examples may only be worth a few dollars, those in well-preserved fine condition can sell for significantly higher amounts. Depending on rarity, appeal, and demand at the time of auction, these coins can bring anywhere from $2,700 in today's market. Exceptional specimens in even better conditions, such as extremely fine or uncirculated, have been known to achieve prices well above this range, sometimes crossing the $6,500 mark. This strong market value is a reflection of both the coin's scarcity and the passionate collector base that continues to pursue it. For collectors interested in acquiring a 1935 1 penny, it is crucial to pay attention to the coin's condition. Always look for details such as the sharpness of King George V's portrait, the clarity of Britannia's figure, and the absence of deep scratches or corrosion. Fine condition is a solid entry point, but if your budget allows, investing in higher-grade examples can yield better long-term value. It is also advisable to buy from reputable dealers or recognized auction houses to avoid counterfeits or misgraded coins. Additionally, storing your coin properly in a protective holder will help preserve its condition and prevent damage from humidity or handling. The United Kingdom 1 penny of 1935 is more than just an old coin. It is a piece of British history, a work of art, and a rare collectible that continues to attract attention in the auction market. Its fine condition examples stand as a testament to the craftsmanship of early 20th century coinage and remain highly sought after by collectors worldwide. Whether you are a seasoned numismatist or just starting your collection, the 1935 penny is a coin worth learning about, appreciating, and perhaps even adding to your collection. With its rarity, historical significance, and strong market value, it truly represents one of the gems of British copper coinage. Next up, the United Kingdom 1 penny coin from the year 1921. While pennies were once a common sight in the hands of the British public, certain years stand out for their scarcity desirability, and impressive market value. The 1921 penny, especially when found in very fine condition, is one of those hidden treasures that collectors actively seek out. We will explore its background, unique characteristics, rarity, and just how much this coin can be worth in today's auction market. The one-penny coin of 1921 belongs to the reign of King George V, who ruled the United Kingdom from 1910 until 1936. This was a period marked by dramatic change, including the aftermath of the First World War and the financial challenges that followed. The 1921 penny was struck at the Royal Mint using the bronze alloy that had been standard since 1860. Millions were issued for circulation, but despite the high mintage, most pennies were heavily used in everyday transactions. Over time, many became worn, damaged, or lost. Because of this, finding an original 1921 penny in very fine or better condition today is not as easy as it might seem. This historical context makes the coin more than just currency. It is a surviving artifact from the early 20th century. The design of the 1921 penny reflects both artistry and tradition. On the obverse side, we find the portrait of King George V, engraved by Bertram Mackennal. The king faces left, and around his profile is the Latin inscription, Georgius Vide Jare, Brit. OMN, Rex Fid. Def. Ind. Imp, which translates to George V, by the grace of God, King of all Britons, Defender of the Faith, Emperor of India. On the reverse, the classic image of Britannia appears, seated on a rock with a trident in one hand and a shield bearing the Union flag in the other. This timeless symbol of Britain had been featured on pennies since the 17th century, making the coin both a piece of art and national pride. The coin was struck in bronze, and in very fine condition. Details of the portrait and Britannia remain sharp, with minimal wear. Such preservation enhances both its beauty and value. Although millions of 1921 pennies were originally minted, their survival in higher grades is limited. Circulation wear, environmental damage, and loss over the decades mean that only a fraction of these coins remain in collectible condition today. For collectors, rarity is not just about how many were minted, but how many survive in desirable states such as very fine or higher. A 1921 penny in heavily worn condition may not hold much premium, but one in very fine or better condition becomes far more desirable. As a result, collectors compete strongly at auctions to secure these well-preserved examples. The coin represents both historical value and investment potential, making it highly sought after in numismatic circles. Now let's talk about what everyone is curious about: the current market value of the 1921 penny in very fine condition. While low-grade examples might only sell for a few dollars, well-preserved coins command a much higher price. In today's auction market, a 1921 one penny in very fine condition can fetch anywhere between $10,000 depending on the exact sharpness of the details, the richness of the color, and whether the coin has been properly preserved without cleaning. Exceptional pieces that border on extremely fine condition can sometimes reach even higher values, particularly if multiple collectors compete for them in an auction. This makes the 1921 penny not just a piece of history, but a coin with strong market demand and real financial value. If you are interested in adding a 1921 penny to your collection, here are some important tips. First, always pay attention to the coin's condition. Very fine or better examples are the ones that carry true premium value. Look closely at the king's portrait and Britannia. The clearer the details, the more desirable the coin. Second, authenticity is crucial. Be cautious of worn coins being overgraded or even counterfeit examples, especially when buying online. Always purchase from trusted dealers, certified auctions, or get coins authenticated by reputable grading services. Finally, store your coin properly. Use acid-free holders or capsules to prevent tarnish and damage, as improper storage can reduce both the beauty and value of your coin over time. The United Kingdom one penny of 1921 may seem like a small and ordinary coin at first glance, but in very fine condition, it tells a powerful story of history, rarity, and enduring value. From its ties to King George V's reign to its classic Britannia design, this coin captures the spirit of Britain in the early 20th century. Its scarcity in higher grades makes it a highly collectible treasure, and in today's market, it continues to attract strong demand and impressive auction prices. For collectors, the 1921 penny is more than just bronze. It's a piece of history worth holding on to. Next up, the United Kingdom one penny from 1936. While at first glance this coin might seem like an ordinary pre-decimal penny, collectors know it holds a very special place in numismatic history. In fine condition, the 1936 penny has become a sought-after treasure, commanding strong prices at auctions and continuing to attract attention from collectors worldwide. Let's uncover what makes this coin so unique and why it remains a prized piece in the world of British coinage. The year 1936 was one of the most remarkable in British history, often referred to as the Year of the Three Kings. Following the death of King George V in January 1936, his son Edward VIII ascended the throne, only to abdicate later that same year. George VI then took the crown in December. Because of this extraordinary turn of events, the 1936 coinage is historically significant. The 1 penny of this year was struck during the final reign of George V and carries his portrait, making it a symbolic coin from a time of major transition in the monarchy. This historical context alone gives the 1936 penny a unique identity in the story of British coinage. The 1936 1 penny was struck in bronze, featuring the crowned bust of King George V on the obverse. The reverse shows the iconic figure of Britannia seated with shield and trident, a design that had been used on pennies since the mid-19th century. In fine condition, these coins often display light wear on Britannia's details and the king's portrait, but the key design features remain clear. The lettering around the edges and the date at the bottom of the reverse still stand out, which is essential for grading and collector interest. Even in slightly circulated states, the coin has a rich historical charm that makes it desirable. While millions of 1936 pennies were minted, surviving examples in fine or higher condition have become increasingly scarce. Most of the coins were heavily circulated in everyday transactions, meaning that finding one today with clear details and minimal wear is not easy. Collectors also prize this coin due to its connection with the transitional period of 1936, giving it historical and emotional value beyond the numbers alone. The rarity lies not in its mintage, but in the demand from collectors who want a piece of history tied to the year of three monarchs. In today's auction market, the 1936 1 penny in fine condition often sells for around $2,450, depending on the sharpness of details and overall eye appeal. However, higher-graded examples, such as those in very fine or extremely fine condition, can fetch significantly higher sums, sometimes reaching $9,500 or more at specialized coin auctions. The true market value often depends on collector competition, the condition of the coin, and its provenance. Exceptional pieces with original luster or minimal wear can push values even higher, making this coin a rewarding find for both casual collectors and seasoned numismatists. If you're looking to add a 1936 penny to your collection, pay close attention to condition. Coins in fine condition are valuable, but if you can secure one in very fine or extremely fine state, it could prove a much stronger investment. Always examine the details on Britannia and the portrait of King George V. Sharp features, minimal scratches, and an even surface tone are key signs of a better grade coin. It's also advisable to purchase from reputable dealers or auctions to ensure authenticity, as counterfeit coins can occasionally appear on the market. Storing your penny in a protective case will also help preserve its value over time. The 1936 1 penny is far more than just a piece of bronze. It's a historical artifact from one of the most dramatic years in Britain's royal history. Its design, condition, and connection to King George V make it a highly desirable collectible, especially in fine or better states. With strong demand from collectors and steadily rising auction values, this coin remains a true gem of British numismatics. Whether you're a passionate coin collector or simply intrigued by history, owning a 1936 penny offers both a tangible link to the past and a valuable addition to your collection. Next up, the United Kingdom 1 penny from the year 1905. Even in worn condition, this coin carries a story of rarity, history, and tremendous value in the auction market. So, if you're a coin enthusiast or simply curious about hidden treasures in everyday currency, stay tuned as we uncover the secrets of the 1905 British penny. The 1 penny coin of 1905 belongs to the reign of King Edward VII, who ruled from 1901 until 1910. During this period, the British Empire was at its height, and coins like this circulated widely across the United Kingdom and its colonies. Struck in bronze, the 1905 penny was part of the standard currency used daily by millions of people. However, what sets this year apart is not just the coin's age, but also the fact that production numbers were relatively low compared to surrounding years. Because of this, many of these coins were heavily used and later melted down, leaving far fewer examples surviving today. The obverse of the 1905 penny features the portrait of King Edward VII, designed by George William de Saulles. His right-facing bust is inscribed with the Latin legend, Edward's 7-day Gra, Abrit Omen Rex Fid Def Ndimp, which translates to Edward VII, by the grace of God, King of all the Britons, Defender of the Faith, Emperor of India. On the reverse, we see the iconic figure of Britannia seated, holding her trident and shield, symbolizing Britain's naval power and strength. Even in worn condition, these details remain identifiable and give the coin its classic Edwardian character. What makes the 1905 one penny so sought after is its scarcity. Unlike other Edwardian pennies, this particular year saw a much lower mintage, meaning fewer coins entered circulation in the first place. To make matters worse, the heavy use of bronze coins during the early 20th century means that high-grade examples are extremely difficult to find today. For collectors, this coin has become one of the key dates in the Edward VII penny series. Even worn and circulated pieces are eagerly snapped up when they appear at auction, since demand far outweighs supply. Now, let's talk about the exciting part: its value. A 1905 one penny in heavily worn or poor condition can still fetch anywhere between $3,250 depending on eye appeal. In better circulated grades, values can climb into the hundreds of dollars. However, when high-grade or well-preserved specimens make it to auction, the price skyrockets. Examples in extremely fine or uncirculated condition have been known to sell for thousands of dollars, sometimes reaching as high as $15,000 in major auctions. This wide price range shows just how valuable this coin can be, even if it looks humble at first glance. If you're hoping to add a 1905 penny to your collection, there are a few things to keep in mind. First, always examine the coin carefully for authenticity, as its rarity makes it a target for counterfeits. Second, condition matters. Even though worn coins hold value, better preserved examples will always command a premium. Finally, consider getting the coin professionally graded if you own one, as certification can greatly increase both its credibility and resale price. Auctions and reputable dealers are the safest avenues to purchase this rare piece of British history. The United Kingdom one penny from 1905 is much more than a small bronze coin. It is a piece of history, representing the reign of Edward VII and the strength of the British Empire at the time. Its rarity and collector demand have transformed it into a highly valuable treasure, capable of reaching thousands of dollars in today's market. Whether in worn condition or mint state, the 1905 penny remains one of the most iconic and desirable coins in British numismatics. So, the next time you come across an old Edwardian penny, take a closer look. It might just be a hidden gem worth a fortune. Next up, the United Kingdom one penny from 1929. Though a small denomination at the time, this coin has become an important piece of history and a desirable item in the collector's market. In very fine condition, it holds significant value, not just in terms of money, but also in its connection to Britain's past. So, let's uncover the story behind this rare coin and see why it commands such big auction prices in today's market. The 1929 one penny coin was minted during the reign of King George V, who ruled the United Kingdom from 1910 until 1936. This was a period marked by economic changes, the aftermath of World War I, and the early stages of the Great Depression. The penny itself was part of Britain's long tradition of copper coinage, which had been in circulation since the late 18th century. By 1929, the penny was struck in bronze and widely used in everyday transactions, representing the backbone of small change in the British economy. While millions were produced during the reign of George V, not all years have survived in collectible conditions, making certain dates, like 1929, highly desirable to collectors. The 1929 penny features the portrait of King George V on the obverse, designed by Sir Bertram Mackennal. His left-facing profile is surrounded by the Latin inscription, Georgives V. Jare, Brit. OMN, Rex FID, Def, IND, IMP, which translates to George V, by the grace of God, King of all the Britons, Defender of the Faith, Emperor of India. On the reverse, the coin displays the iconic seated Britannia holding a trident and shield, a design that had been in use on British pennies since 1797. The coin was struck in bronze, measuring 30.8 millimeters in diameter and weighing about 9.4 grams. Its large size and bold design make it a distinctive piece, instantly recognizable among British coinage. While the 1929 penny was minted in considerable numbers, finding it in very fine or higher condition is not easy. Many of these coins circulated heavily, and over the decades, most have suffered from wear, scratches, or corrosion. Coins that have survived in excellent shape are now rare, and that rarity fuels their demand among collectors. The combination of King George V's portrait, the historical period, and the enduring design of Britannia has made this particular penny a key piece for anyone building a collection of British pennies. As a result, Whenever a 1929 penny in very fine or better condition appears at auction, it attracts significant attention and strong bidding competition. The value of a 1929 penny depends heavily on its condition. In well-circulated grades, the coin may only be worth a few dollars, but in very fine condition or better, its worth rises substantially. Collectors have been known to pay between $4,000 for a very fine example, while extremely fine or uncirculated pieces can bring even higher figures, sometimes exceeding $11,000 in auctions. Specially graded coins certified by professional grading services tend to command premium prices as well. The coin's rising value is proof of its popularity among international collectors who appreciate its age, condition, and historical significance. For collectors who are interested in owning a 1929 penny, there are a few tips to keep in mind. Always examine the condition carefully, as even small differences in wear can significantly impact the coin's value. Look for sharp details in King George V's portrait and clear features in Britannia on the reverse. Avoid coins with heavy scratches, corrosion, or cleaning marks, as these can reduce their worth. If possible, invest in a coin that has been professionally graded for authenticity and condition. Additionally, collectors should buy from reputable dealers or trusted auction houses to avoid counterfeits. Building a collection of pennies from the George V era can be a rewarding experience, both historically and financially. The United Kingdom 1 penny from 1929 is more than just a piece of bronze. It is a reminder of Britain's economic and cultural history during the reign of King George V, and its survival in very fine condition makes it a prized possession for collectors. With values reaching into the hundreds of dollars in today's market, this coin demonstrates how everyday currency can transform into a treasured rarity over time. If you're looking to add an important piece to your collection, the 1929 penny is a coin worth hunting for. Next up, the United Kingdom 1 penny coin from the year 1915. Even though it may appear in worn or damaged condition, this coin still carries immense historical importance, and in some cases, significant value in today's collector market. Whether you are a passionate numismatist or just curious about old British pennies, this video will guide you through the story, features, rarity, and current auction market value of the 1915 UK penny. The 1 penny coin of 1915 belongs to the long-running series of large copper and bronze pennies that were widely used in Britain during the early 20th century. This particular coin was struck under the reign of King George V, who ruled from 1910 until 1936. The year 1915 also falls during the First World War, a time when the United Kingdom was under immense strain, both economically and socially. Millions of coins were minted for circulation during this period to support everyday trade. But despite the high mintage, not all have survived in good condition. The coins from this era are now considered valuable artifacts that represent both Britain's coinage system and its wartime history. The 1915 penny is instantly recognizable with its classic design. On the obverse, it features the portrait of King George V facing left, a design created by Bertram Mackennal, with a Latin inscription around the edge reading, Georges V de Jare, Brit. OMN, Rex Fid. Def. IND, IMP, which translates to George V, by the grace of God, King of all the Britons, Defender of the Faith, Emperor of India. On the reverse, the coin carries the iconic seated Britannia figure, holding a trident and shield, symbolizing Britain's strength and naval power. The coin was made of bronze, but after decades of circulation, many surviving examples are worn, scratched, or discolored, especially if found in damaged condition. However, these flaws often add character, showing the journey the coin has been through. While the 1915 penny is the rarest in terms of mintage, its desirability lies in its age, historical context, and survival rate in collectible condition. Coins that have survived over 100 years without being lost or destroyed are naturally appealing to collectors. Even a worn or damaged 1915 penny can attract interest, especially for those who aim to complete a set of George V pennies or focus on World War I-era coins. The rarity increases significantly when the coin is found in high-grade condition, but even heavily circulated or damaged examples are valued because of their age and historical story. This collector demand helps maintain steady interest in the 1915 penny on today's market. When it comes to the market value, the price of a 1915 penny can vary widely depending on its condition. A heavily worn or damaged example might sell for just a few dollars, usually between $2,000, simply because it is still a century-old collectible. However, coins in average circulated condition often range between $3,700. Higher-grade examples, where the details of George V's portrait and Britannia are still sharp and clear, can reach anywhere from $7,500 at auction. In rare cases where the coin is found in uncirculated or near uncirculated condition, collectors have paid several $100s. It is also worth noting that coins with unique toning, minting errors, or historically significant provenance may fetch even more in the auction market. If you are considering adding a 1915 penny to your collection, there are a few tips to keep in mind. First, always pay attention to the coin's condition. Even though worn examples are affordable, it is often better to invest in higher-grade coins that retain more of their original detail. Second, check for authenticity, as counterfeits of rare British pennies are not uncommon in the marketplace. Purchasing from trusted dealers or auction houses is highly recommended. Third, store your coin properly. Use protective holders or coin albums to prevent further damage, especially if the coin is already in worn condition. Lastly, remember that coin collecting is not only about value, but also about the history and enjoyment it brings. So choose pieces that genuinely interest you. The United Kingdom 1 penny of 1915 is more than just an old piece of bronze. It is a historical treasure that carries the legacy of King George V's reign and the era of World War I. While many examples exist in worn or damaged condition, they are still cherished by collectors worldwide for their history and charm. The coin's value may vary, but its true worth lies in the story it tells and the connection it creates with the past. Whether you are just beginning your journey as a collector or expanding an established collection, the 1915 penny remains a fascinating coin to own, reminding us of a century-old chapter in Britain's monetary history. If you enjoyed learning about the rarity, background, and the incredible dollar values these coins can achieve, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and share it with other collectors or anyone interested in numismatics. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our upcoming videos on rare and valuable coins from the UK and around the world. Your support truly helps this channel grow and allows us to keep bringing you more exciting content about coin collecting, auctions, and hidden treasures that could be hiding in your change. Once again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, happy collecting.